This is a tarot reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. The overall energy of your reading is this inner conflict resolution oracle card that I pre-shuffled and pulled for you before the reading. This is a card about how every time that we're about to level up, we have this agonizing inner conflict that comes in the form of self-sabotaging thoughts or actions, just this whirlwind of wanting to change but being held back, or feeling like you're being held back by limiting beliefs, by self-doubt, by low self-esteem, by just familiarity with suffering, not being able to know what it's like to not suffer, not being able to see beyond the present moment. This card is also about understanding that suffering is a part of the process of healing and the process of leveling up. So you're going to be faced with inner conflict. You're going to be faced with external circumstances that are going to test you, and when you're going through it, this is like growing pains, and it's very painful, it's very uncomfortable, and a lot of the times, and I can resonate with this significantly, a lot of the times when we're in the healing process, we feel like you can feel like you're trapped and like nothing will ever change, and see, I told myself like this would happen, or oh, I was a fool to think that it would be this easy to heal this thing, or whatever this is, whatever you're trying to up level in, whatever this next step that you're trying to take, this change you're trying to make, this habit you're trying to form, this way of being that you're trying to embody. Because there's so much that comes to the surface when you're trying to heal something or level up, a lot of the times we can feel trapped by that, or feel like the struggle is proof that it's not working, and that we're not healing, and that we're not leveling up. But this card is about the fact that you have to go through the pain, the discomfort, the tests of faith, the triggering moments where you choose to be your highest self versus choosing self-sabotage, and just understanding that these thoughts, this inner conflict that you have when you're coming up to become a new thing, or up leveling in a certain way, it's just a part of the process. And even though it's painful, even though it's uncomfortable, it's like it's preparing you for that final accomplishment or thing that you're reaching for, this embodiment, or this whatever it is that you're trying to manifest and incorporate into your reality. It's preparing you for that, because you're really going through the initiation process in order to come out, like the high priestess has to go through the initiation to have access to the sacred knowledge. Not just everyone can see behind the veil, and she's went through this spiritual initiation, rite of passage, or multiple, to receive this sacred knowledge. So that is where you're at. That is the overall energy of your reading. Let's dig deeper into your situation. I want to see what the obstacle is. The obstacle that maybe you don't see yourself. There's something about not feeling prepared enough, or like you feel like a beginner, or you feel like a newbie, you feel like a page, a teenager energy, immature, unprepared, naive, unknowing, not wise enough, not vetted enough to go on this journey, but in the Page of Wands, you know, and also with the Page of Wands, your external circumstance can look barren. He's in this desert, and it's like, how is life going to grow there? How could you possibly change your circumstances? Look at your circumstances. Look at the proof of what's going on. Don't you see the proof of what's happening? You have to be able, as the Page of Wands, to focus on the small amount of growth that he has on his staff here. The small amount of growth that you've progressed in your spirituality, in your confidence, in aligning your actions with your morals, in your healing, in your self-esteem. What are the small things that you can look to in this time of desperation, or feeling trapped, or feeling stuck in your circumstance, or feeling like the evidence is against what it is that you're trying to create? You need to focus in and have tunnel vision on how far you've come and where you still want to go. Not projecting yourself into the future to the point of worry, because you can't worry about tomorrow's struggles today, and not living in the past of all the mistakes that you've made thus far. And that's why that's the evidence of how you can't up level, because you've never done it before. You've never seen it done before. You don't have anyone to talk to about it. You don't know what to do. The wands are about spirituality, fire energy, spirituality, passion, inspiration, confidence, sensuality. And so really honing in on trying to focus on how far you've come, and not let what's happened before determine who you are now. Not living in the past, not projecting into the future, but what can you do now? What have you already done now? Being grateful, gratitude, things like that. It looks like your obstacle is feeling like you're not prepared, because, like I said, like, you've never seen it before. So it's like you don't know what it's like to be on the other side of this hurdle that you're trying to jump over. But just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You have a knowing deep within you that it does exist. Even though you're a page, or you have the perception of yourself being a page, you have this wand, you have this knowledge, you have this knowing, you have this connection to spirit, connection to yourself that is always there. And as long as you can come back to that and focus on that, and really look at it, and look at the progress, and look at the small sprouts that are coming out, you will be able to take the next step into action with the Knight of Wands. So this is your obstacle. Let's go ahead and look at what is an action that you can take moving forward. The World. The World card is like a completion, an ending, but also a beginning to start the journey over again. So let's do a clarification. Your clarification cards are the King of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. You also have the Nine of Swords, Nine of Cups. I keep thinking act as if it already has happened, which easier said than done, obviously. If you are going into this journey of wanting to overcome some hurdle that you've never done before and you haven't seen anyone do and you don't know how to do, and you're feeling trapped by your circumstance and you're feeling underprepared and you have all this inner conflict. It's like, how am I supposed to just embody this and just be this and act as if I already have it? Well, the answer to that is raising your self-esteem here with the King of Wands. So raising your self-esteem, the only way to do that, the only thing that resonates with me in order to do that, my advice to you would be to make promises to yourself and keep them. So what are the things that you can do today that will help you feel a good sense of self-esteem, that will help you raise your confidence? Are there habits that you're performing that are going against your better judgment, going against your self-esteem? Are they lowering your self-esteem? Or do you keep breaking promises to yourself with your diet, your exercise, your lifestyle, your choices, the people you surround yourself with, the way that you talk to yourself, what you put in your body? I already said diet, but it goes more than that. It goes beyond that. It goes into consumption of media. It goes into consumption of audio, whatever it is. It's like, what are you consuming? What are you doing? What are you believing? How are you treating yourself? Because the King of Wands is like the King and Queen of Wands would be like the epitome of self-confidence and marching to the beat of your own drum no matter what anyone else thinks about it, because they know what they're doing is right for them. It doesn't matter what it looks like to anyone else. And so what are you doing that's diminishing your self-esteem? Because and also reciprocity. Are you giving to situations, to people? Are you giving your energy towards things, again with the Six of Pentacles? Are you giving to things that aren't good for you? Are you giving into the negative parts of yourself that are self-sabotaging you with this inner conflict resolution? It's like, what are you doing that's keeping you up at night? You have the Nine of Swords. What are you doing? What are you giving your energy to that is going against what you want and is causing you grief and conflict, inner conflict and stress? The only way to embody this this newness and this knowing that you are already complete, even though you have these things that you want to accomplish and these hurdles that you're trying to overcome, because you feel this sense of like you have this void, this thing within you that you need to heal, which that's true for you, but that doesn't take away from your completeness as a soul, as a person. And the only way that you can feel that and feel emptiness and feel like you're not whole and feel like you're not the world and that you're always ending and beginning and you are this all-encompassing thing, that you're a part of this other bigger all-encompassing thing, is when you diminish yourself by giving into things and giving to people and situations and whatever, energetically, physically, monetarily, that are going against and are causing this inner conflict, because you're not doing what it is that you know that you should do, and you're not acting the way that you know that you should act. You have the Nine of Cups here with the Queen of Swords and then the Three of Swords. I think that you have to set boundaries with yourself and the people around you, and you need to also focus on how far you've come and the accomplishments, again, gratitude, the accomplishments that you've already achieved. You need to be strict with yourself in what you're trying to achieve, how you're going to do it, what boundaries you have with yourself, with other people, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to sit back and be happy with who you are. And if you're not, then how can you overcome all these other things? Because you have yourself against you. It doesn't matter the external world. It doesn't matter what the background looks like. It matters what you believe with the wand. It matters what you believe, your beliefs, your spirituality. What do you believe about yourself, truly? And if you believe that you're not good enough and that you never make the right decisions and that you're trapped in this nightmare of a situation of this, or your thoughts are keeping you into this thing where you feel like you can't go anywhere and they're making you feel like you're not whole, that's hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. You're keeping yourself trapped. And the only way to get out of that is to make the hard decisions, is to take the actions and align your belief system with your actions. So really looking within, looking at how are you hurting yourself? What are you doing? How can you raise your self-esteem? Who is it that you want to be? What would that person do? What would that person act like? How would they live? And are you doing that, or are you doing the opposite of that? And how can you slowly work your way towards that? Because in building your self-esteem, you will start to unfold, and you will start to be able to believe that you can do more things. Look back at the accomplishments that you've already conquered, and how can you apply what worked for you then now. And the things that didn't work that aren't applicable anymore, the things that you've done in the past that you used in that scenario to protect yourself, that aren't working for you now, how can you let those go? How can you show yourself that you are strong enough, good enough now, balanced enough now, whole enough now, that those things don't apply anymore? And then they thank you, but I don't need you anymore. And those things will slowly start to phase away, because you won't be calling on it as much, because you will feel safe in yourself. And that's the only way to continue this up-leveling process. I hope that you guys liked this reading. If you did, let me know how in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.